Hello, everybody. Welcome on in. Thank you for tuning into the stream here on the Jupiter Robotics YouTube channel. This is going to be a good one. Happy to have you here, and let's get started. Hello, everybody. If you haven't seen my face or heard my name before, I am Jonathan, one of the team co-captains for the Florida-based combat robotics team, Jupiter Robotics, which, in case you haven't heard the news, Jupiter Robotics now has a new sponsor. Now, of course, this live stream is about the event we have coming up in about, say, 37 hours is when we're going to be there from now. It's going to be all day this Saturday in Tampa. Before we get into the discussion about the event, we have a new sponsor to talk about. So, in case anybody here hasn't heard the news, we have a third official sponsor. Jupiter Robotics is now sponsored by the graphic design company 48 Designs, which is a family-owned and operated graphic design company, which is owned by the other two co-captains on this team. So, kind of a full circle moment, I would say. Of course, we've worked with 48 Designs. They are the ones that I agree, pretty cool. And thank you for tuning in, Roughhouse. So they're the ones responsible for making the Jupiter Robotics logo that you've seen all over. And of course, the videos and all the content, like this live stream that you see here on the channel. And speaking of videos here on the channel, we're about to upgrade our videos because of the sponsorship. And what that means is we're going to have more content. We're going to have our videos feature some new things like a new intro, a new outro. That's all that I'm going to tease about that. And pretty cool stuff in the works with that. And we will see what that will look like next week. Because this weekend, of course, we're fighting Little Rocketeer at a competition here in Florida. And with that means we have a fight recap video that you should expect to see here next week. We'll try to have it up pretty quick. Early next week, I would say. But first, we have to go to the event and record its fights. So, but some new things have been made for our videos that are really cool and cannot wait to share them with you. And then, of course, we can talk more about that in the next live stream when we recap this event and pull up the video and watch it, of course. And so, a lot of fun stuff in the works. And again, thank you to all of our sponsors, Polymaker, Sen, and 48 Designs. Thank you to all three of our sponsors. We could not do what we do without you. So, remind me again, Roughhouse, what was the bet for how many sponsors we could get by a certain time? We're not going to move on until we figure this one out. This is going to feel weird without space junk. Yeah, I know. I've been sitting here thinking about it. You know, we've been fighting for over 3 years. And every time we fight, we always bring space junk. It is going to be different competing at a competition without space junk being there. So, I think... Whoa, that's a lot. I had in mind like 5 by the end of the year. We're off to a good start. I don't know. We'll see. We always appreciate it when a really awesome company like Polymaker, Sen, and 48 Designs, to name a few, sponsor the team. And it really helps grow the team. And in many ways, and because of the help of our sponsors, we've been able to pull off many amazing things. I don't know if you noticed, but there's a trophy the sponsors may have had something to do with that. So amazing things like this would not be possible without sponsors. And we got a trophy right in time because soon after we retired that robot. Let's see. So yes, very cool stuff in the works. And of course, we do feature every sponsor's logos on our robots. So happy to show off Little Rocketeer's bottom side is completely covered in stickers made of logos with all of our sponsors, Polymaker, Senkatsen, Fort Designs, and then a random sticker of our mascot. Oh, and of course, Rocketeer's signature rocket on top. That robot is stickerfied. Is Andy ever going to sponsor you with Palm Beach Bots? I'm honestly surprised that it hasn't happened. I have talked to him about it. I guess I have not bribed him well enough. I'm kidding. I don't bribe people. I'll just make that clear enough. That was a joke. That would be pretty awesome if he did. But we'll see. We'll see if we get anywhere with Palm Beach Bots in the future. And of course, shout out to Palm Beach Bots. You are amazing. Sponsor or not, Andy, you are amazing. If you're watching, hats off to you. Amazing guy. Hosting very many competitions here in Florida. He's got a couple coming up in the near future. So maybe we'll talk about that on a future stream. So a Palm Beach Bots sponsorship would be pretty neat. But we'll see. So with that, now we've thanked all of our sponsors. Very happy to have all of our sponsors on board, of course. We're going to dive into the topic of discussion here, which I have not prepared anything. I thought I did. There we go. All right. Sorry for the delay there. I think we're good to go. All right, here we go. So, oh, it just cropped my head out. Hang on. There we go. So, I have the Builders Database website pulled up. And if anybody is not familiar with what Builders Database is, this is one of the websites that we use to sign up for competitions here in the US. I've also seen a couple of Canadian events on here as well, mostly hosted by FingerTech Robotics, based up in Canada. Let's see. So this is the registration for the Combat at Gulf Coast MakerCon 2026 competition coming up in Tampa, Florida this Saturday. And we can see the maximum capacity per weight class is 12. They let in an extra Beetle. There's a few spots open for ferries, but registration is closed. So they just gave an extra spot to a waitlisted Beetle, which is pretty cool. So we have 13 Beetles. Again, the weight classes are ferry weight, ant weight, and Beetle weight. I can zoom in so you can see what I'm talking about better. So we have ferry weights, which are roughly 1/3 of a pound. They're really tiny. We have ant weights, which weigh 1 pound. We have beetle weights. They weigh 3 pounds. We have 9 fairies, 12 ants, 13 beetles. We have an incredible lineup and a familiar name, which we may get into talking about that a little more. And then they leave an event description here with basic information about the event, such as the schedule we're going to follow and the rules and what to bring. And if there's any teams watching this that are going to the event this Saturday, keep in mind you have to bring your own table and chairs. If you cannot bring a table, then try to share a table with somebody that has a table. So last year they said the same thing, and somebody ended up on the floor, which is not entirely safe. So I don't want that happening again. If we can avoid it, that would be amazing. But nonetheless, let's take a look at the robots that are signed up. There we go. And we're going to start off with the fairy weights because I'm biased and have a fairy weight. I'm kidding. It's just because that's the first one. It would also appear that a lot of the teams that are competing in this competition are too busy getting their robots ready for this competition. They cannot join tonight. If I can bring on a special guest tonight, we will see. Otherwise, it's probably just going to be me talking about robots for 2 hours, because why not? Pixel honestly looks pretty interesting. Yes, I got to see that thing fight at this event last year. They are behind the same team that is bringing, I kid you not, 7 robots total to this event, just between fairies and ants. They have Pixel, Platypus. Blue Rocketeer lost to Platypus last year. Stag Beetle. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that one. It's probably really easy, but. And then in the ant weights, they have Shredder, Scoop and Hug, and Slapdash. So they're bringing 7 robots to a one-day competition. Boy, they're going to be busy at their pit tables. I don't know how they do it. So let's see. Let's get back into the fairy weight division. We have the Weekday Warriors bringing Tuesday, not Tuesday, Tuesday, because they're going to chew everybody up. It does look like a really solid robot. I call that a fairy weight tombstone. I like that design. We have Weekday Warriors also bringing Very Scary, which is a very scary looking robot. Let's see. Ram Robotics, a team behind Gruff, they are bringing Scoop and was it Rainer? Did I say that right? If I didn't say that right, that's how I'm going to say it. Anyway. Yeah, we have a really cool lineup of fairies. I'm just trying to debate. Tuesday looks a lot like misdirected aggression to me. That name does not sound familiar. I say fairy weight tombstone, but I also have a bad habit about calling any horizontal I see an ant weight tombstone or fairy weight tombstone. But Tuesday looks a lot like tombstone. Obviously scaled down by a lot. Little Rocketeer sweep. Yeah, maybe if the competition is rigged. I'm kidding. No tournament is ever rigged. Tombstone has wheel guards now, so you can't say that. Well, that is true. Tombstone does have wheel guards now. Heading into the BattleBots Pro League, which they are filming this weekend and next weekend in Las Vegas. The Pro League is going to hit their YouTube channel. Didn't they say June? I can't wait to see it. It sounds really cool. I won't be there, so enough about that. I'm just going to be biased. So, let's see. There's a lot of really good looking robots in all of the classes, really. We got a solid lineup of robots. So it's going to be fun to see who can take it all the way. Fairy Scary went pretty far last year. I believe they ended up on the podium. I do not remember where on the podium, but I think they could take it all the way. Now, bias me would say, but first you'll have to get through Little Rocketeer. We got Scoop and Scoop and Hug in this comp. Yep. I did not think about that until you said that. That is true. I'm glad they are in different weight classes, because if they were in the same class, that would be really confusing. Now we're going to move to the ant weights. We're going to see who's here in the ant weights. I want to point out this robot here, Cheap Knockoff, I believe, I heard, is getting a weight bonus. They get to weigh 1.5 pounds for being a gyro walker. And you do get a weight bonus like that if you do not use wheels and you use something else as a form of motion for your drive. Depending on what you use instead of wheels, your weight bonus will vary depending on that. Little Rocketeer gets third, Fairy Scary gets first, Pixel gets second. That's a stretch. Little Rocketeer getting on the podium. That could be a bit of a stretch. Little Rocketeer, hopefully, I would be happy if we win one tournament fight, because that has not happened yet. I just want to see if we can win one fight at this event. Space Junk goes... No. Space Junk goes undefeated. Space Junk will be undefeated in this competition. Remember, if you don't fight, you don't lose. Chlorine and Fluorine gets by technicality because he didn't show up. Let's see. There's a lot of really good-looking robots on this lineup. Some of them have not updated their profile pictures, so we're not seeing the most updated version of their robots. Then again, that's coming from a guy who his robots don't even have a profile picture other than artwork. So who am I to complain about it? So, Cheap Knockoff, I love that name. Destroyer looks really solid. That is not the latest version. It is a vertical spinner, but it's not that. It's going to look really cool. We have a lot of friends in this field. Where's Nick at for this event? Missing some of that Piper King action. Yeah, I don't know. Nick is not going to be at this competition. He said he's taking a little bit of a break from robots because he just competed at NHRL, the largest robotics competition in the US. I don't know if that's a hot topic, but honestly, it is. It's a pretty huge event that he just fought his new Beetleweight Viper King X at that NHRL event. So he said he's going to take a little bit of a break from that one. Stag Beetle is the smaller Scoop and Hug. I thought it was. Because if we look here, the fairy field, we look at that profile picture for Stag Beetle, the front end of it, tell me the front right there, does not look like Scoop and Hug's grabbers. And then I even clicked on the robot profile, and it said the primary weapon is a grabber. So, based off those two things, I just figured it was a fairy Scoop and Hug. The new Tyrone should be a good one. I look forward to it. Is Cheap Knockoff a Kitbot? I know the guy that ran. As far as I'm concerned, it is not. But if it is, I do not know about a kit that looks like that. I could be wrong. Maybe they're testing for a kit to come out in the future. I don't know. But as far as I'm aware, that is not a kit. I would love to talk to that guy about his design because that looks really cool with the two blades like that. And the interesting choice to not use wheels. Although our friend Nick is not going to this competition, we do have a Florida Poly representative, student. A Florida Poly student is going to be at this competition. Maury, Chronophage are both being brought by John from the Purple Fire robotics team. Destroyer, I think, will randomly do well at this event for some reason. Hey, very well could. The combat robotics team, they do a fantastic job with everything they build, and they just kill their opponents. It is incredible to watch them, all the success that they have. We'll see. I think the podium could be, I don't know, Destroyer could be on the podium, but I'm thinking maybe RBR could take first. Shout out to Robert in the chat. You've done a phenomenal job with that robot. And Caden for making the design. That was really cool. The design that he made for you. Scoop and Hug stands a very good chance. They won first place, as we know, the last competition they were at. Scoop and Hug could take it far, go first again, maybe. Or just somewhere on the podium. Tyrone could also be on there. I'm interested to see the new Tyrone they're bringing. So those are kind of my 4 picks for the podium. I just picked 4, but the podium's only going to be the top 3 robots. So we'll see how that goes. I think it'd be pretty hilarious if none of the 4 robots I just pointed out, Tyrone, RBR, Scoop and Hug, and Destroyer, it'd be pretty funny if none of them are on the podium just to prove me wrong. RBR gets first or second, same for Destroyer. That could very well happen. I have a feeling, of course, we're just talking predictions here. I have a feeling RBR could take first. And Destroyer is going to come in probably a close second. I don't know, maybe it'll prove me wrong by switching. Destroyer gets first and RBR gets second. We'll see. And then the Beetleweight lineup is absolutely terrifying. I look at Beetleweight lineups like this and think, I am glad I don't have to deal with that. Beetleweights are absolutely terrifying. Hacky looks solid. It really does. Shout out to the Tampa Hackerspace for bringing Hacky in the Antweights. I can't wait to see that robot. I think it's their debut event. If Chronophage runs really good and has a good ground game, then that could really kill it. It absolutely could. It is a really, really good robot. He won, I believe, 3rd place in Jacksonville last weekend. He ended up on the podium with the new Chronophage design, which was really cool to see him take home some hardware. But looking at the Beetle lineup for the Saturday, we have amazing teams like Team Junkyard Dog are bringing Big G and Clanker. The Robotics are bringing Chokehold, Mega Pushy X. GoGoBots is bringing ODB. Let's see. Weekday Warriors has Deadline, which is a really cool robot to watch. Our Florida Poly friend, Radioactive Thing, piloted by Roma of Purple Fire Robotics. He's done a phenomenal job with that robot. And I can't wait to see how well that does. Maybe he could take it all the way in the Beatles. Radioactive Things reminds me of something. Let's see. Yeah, maybe. He is. That robot is absolutely no joke. That thing packs a punch. I've seen that thing fight. I'm glad I do not ever have to get stuck with him. I think sometimes it would be fun to have a beetle weight, but then I look at how expensive beetle parts can be compared to ants and fairies, and then I look at other people's beetle weights like Radioactive Thing. I think, do I really want to? Clanker looked really good in Orlando. All the Beatles look good. I cannot wait to see the Beetle Weights fight. They're all going to be a powerhouse at this event. They're going to bring it. They're all going to bring their A game. It is going to get really loud in this building. It's a good thing I should also note that we have our own room. This year, the tournament has its own combat room in the Yingling Draft House and Kitchen. It is the same restaurant we were in last year. Really amazing venue. Last year we did not have the entire space to ourselves, but this year we do. Is it wood floor or metal floor? It is a steel floor, I do believe. Last time I saw it was a steel floor. But no magnets are allowed at this event, unfortunately. I did confirm that. Of course, Weekday Warriors bring in Sunday Scaries, which is, I believe they won first place at MakerCon last year. We'll see if they can defend their title. Then we have kind of a newcomer here in Zombot, which is a really cool robot that had a really good showing at his debut event, which was in Orlando earlier this year. The same Orlando event, Space Junk was runner-up at. He ended up winning a couple of fights at his very first event in spectacular fashion. It was amazing. He's been working on a lot of improvements. That team's been doing an amazing job. So I can't wait to see what they can accomplish. I feel like Sunday Scaries will fight Big G. Ooh, I would like to see that fight. That would be probably one of the most powerful fights. And by powerful, I mean those are two of the most hard-hitting robots out of the whole field. So that would be one of the loudest fights. And I would probably expect to see some roof shots. Nonetheless, these Beetles they hit very hard. All these Beetles, they hit like a freight train. So I would expect to see a lot of roof shots. That's another prediction outside of a podium. Outside of a podium, before I share my podium predictions, I'll give everybody in chat a second. Who do we think is going to be on the podium and where? Also, did they stop running Drum Gun? Now that you say that, I haven't thought about that, but yeah. I haven't seen that robot in a hot minute. They have Big G and Clanker. Clanker, I believe, is a hammer saw. If somebody was at Orlando and can correct me on that, please do. We have Of course, a couple of robots don't have a profile picture, so I'm not completely sure what they are. Here's our first prediction. Radioactive Thing first, Sunday Scary second, Camino third. That is a very good prediction. I think all three of those could easily be on the podium. Maybe Big G in third? Could also be ODB winning fourth. Yeah, I was just thinking ODB could go really far. Clanker was a Hammersaw in Orlando. Okay, I thought it was. So, if nothing's changed, we could also be seeing a Beetleweight Hammersaw. But we will see what Junkyard Dog has in store for this year's competition. Can't wait to see what amazing things they do at this competition. They're an amazing team with amazing robots. Let's see. New Horizons is pretty solid as well. My podium prediction. I don't know if I can have a podium prediction. They're all really good. I would agree that Radioactive Thing and Sunday Scaries are probably going to fight in the finals. Or maybe Big G and Sunday Scaries in the finals. They're all going to bring their A game. And, I mean, we'll see who can take it all the way. Take home some hardware. It's going to be really fun to watch and root on the Beetleweights. New Horizons is like a Beetleweight xenomorph. Yeah, that is true. Maybe New Horizons could probably be on the podium. It's a pretty solid robot. Yeah, can't wait to see who gets the podium there. But I'm sure you guys can hear that, but we have a little train ASMR in the background. Big G would probably lose to Radioactive Thing if it runs like Fragment X or something like that. Good point. I think with the Beatles, not Beatles specifically, I think with everybody that is going to this competition and fighting here, this lineup in all the weight classes, all the lineups are very solid. I think all of the robots here are going to put up one good fight before they get eliminated. Some of them, if they get eliminated. Yeah, we got a returning guest. It's the background train. That is correct. Welcome on in, train. I can still hear it going on the tracks. Please welcome back special guest, returning guest. You know him, you love him. Never mind, it is too late for him. He made himself known. So yes, I cannot wait to see Little Rocketeer get first. No, I'm kidding. This is going to be a good podium in all the classes. A lot of good fights overall. The competition is double elimination, which means you have double the chance of getting first place. Everybody's going to start in the winner's bracket. If you win in the winner's bracket, you keep advancing to the next round. If you lose in the winner's bracket, you're not out yet. You just get bumped down to what they call the redemption bracket. And if you keep winning in the redemption bracket, you keep going. And if you lose in the redemption bracket, then you're out. Love how old school the fairy weights look here. Yeah, I love these designs. Now, at the end, the winner of the winner's bracket and the winner of the redemption bracket will face each other in the grand finals to determine an ultimate first place winner. All the Beatles have a chance at podium. Big G gives big hits. Yep. Predict to be the winner. I know that is like super hard to predict a podium winner for that class. For all the classes, really, because you could have a lot of upsets, a lot of unexpected fights, or other turnouts. Um, so, yeah, it can be pretty hard to make predictions like that, especially for the Beatles, because you never know what to expect with them, other than roof shots, but you don't know like how many roof shots. It's going to be a lot of. I wonder if somebody's going to take out a light. I'm going to place a bet, see if somebody can take out one of the arena lights. If that happens, I am not paying to replace that. Yes, very solid lineup. I want to see more of ODB. I think we're going to see plenty of ODB at this event. That is going to be fun to see Team GoGoBots going maybe all the way, or at least going very far. With that robot, that looks vicious. All these robots look vicious. So, and of course we have not only a beetle weight hammer saw, but an ant weight. We have an ant weight hammer saw free noogies from Weekday Warriors. It's a very cool and interesting robot to see. We have Pioneer in the ant weights, which, if we look here, Rough House, I can call this one an ant weight tombstone, right? Because he has wheel guards. So yeah, I'm honestly interested to see. Just a side note, I'm interested to see Tombstone in the Pro League with wheel guards, and I think Pioneer is like an ant weight replica of that. So while Ray Billings is in Vegas trying out wheel guards for the first time, we're going to see our own mini Tombstone with wheel guards. We'll see how that goes. Tombstone will go, oh no, at this event. Yeah, because he's going to be at a different event. So yeah, very solid lineup. Let's go back one. And shout out to Amrock Fab Lab for putting on this event. Shout out to the Yingling Draft House and Kitchen for allowing Amrock to host a competition in this amazing venue. And Build Fight Fun for bringing the combat arena. Tombstone would destroy all of these except for a little Rocketeer. It's too precious. Ray Billings wouldn't dare. So yeah, I cannot wait to see all of the other teams and robots. See who can take it far, who can end up on the podium. There is prize money. I'm not going to try to zoom in, but I'll highlight. Prize money for the top 3 winners in each class. And also, the top bot, meaning first place. My highlights are being stupid. The top bot in each category earns the Rusty Wrench Award, provided by the amazing Amrock Fab Lab. They did an amazing job with the trophies. Can't wait to see who can take them home. If we have spare time, do we get some Robot Rumble 2 gameplay? Maybe for some driving practice. Not a bad idea. we look forward to seeing you at Gulf Coast MakerCon 2026. Amrock, we look forward to seeing you at Gulf Coast MakerCon 2026. This is going to be overall a fun one-day competition this Saturday. Amazing robots again. I can't wait to root on all of the teams. Very solid lineup. I don't know. I don't know who could be taking the Rusty Wrench Award because only one robot, the top robot in each class, takes home a trophy. 70% chance that it's a Rusty Wrench. Actually, 0% because I just saw the trophies before I started the stream. I can confirm it is. The trophies are not actually a Rusty Wrench. They are a laser cut trophy. If it was the Midwest, then it would be 100%. Oh, that's awesome. Curious to see what kind of trophies they have. I've probably seen them, but yeah. Again, the trophies do look really awesome. They're little LED laser engraved trophies, which are really cool. Of course, I don't have one I could show, but maybe a Little Rocketeer could fix that. So we will see. This is going to be a good competition. I am definitely intrigued to see if Little Rocketeer can claim its first ever tournament victory. If we can win one tournament fight, I'd be perfectly happy with that. And this is one of those where I just want to win one fight and I don't care what happens after that. That's my whole thinking process going to most of our events. Honestly, Tuesday, I think, would do really well. I think it will do very well. And I think it's funny, if we take a look at his profile picture, I think it's pretty funny he put that thing next to an AirPods case just for scale. That shows you right there just how tiny these fairy weights are. They're tiny. I kind of want to put that AirPods case next to Rocketeer for scale. Tuesday could really get first place and all that. Actually, think about it. He could definitely end up on the podium. Tuesday is built by the same builder on Weekday Warriors that built the very first fairy weight that Little Rocketeer ever fought. That being Mr. Flip, which was an undercutter. He got third place at his debut event with Mr. Flip. Tuesday could probably get, I would say probably second. I think first may go to Fairy Scary, so maybe we'll see an all Weekday Warriors finals. Fairy Scary is indeed very scary. Now, if only we had wheel guards somehow. I feel like that would help them out. Same could be said for others, including, I know. Fairy Scary probably would get destroyed. Fairy Scary destroys. I don't think he gets destroyed. He destroys. He did very well last year at this event. Fairy Scary reminds me of a jester alone. Another name I don't recognize. I was trying to think earlier if there's a robot that I think looks similar to Fairy Scary, but there's not one that I know of that I could compare it to. Unless I just have poor memory. Maybe I'll bring my Fairy Weight Helen's mom for a grudge match. Absolutely, please do. I don't expect Little Rocketeer to have very many fights. I would love to be proven wrong on that. Rocketeer already doesn't get very many fights. But after we get eliminated, I would love to grudge you. Or if there's a fairy rumble, you can throw it in a rumble. I think what we're going to do if we have the time, and I'm sure we will, is each weight class will have their own rumble for any eliminated robots to join in into chaos. Absolute top tier naming there, Robert. I agree. Absolute top tier. You know what? If they were giving out an award for the best named robot, this one, Helen's mom, that would be the winner right there. But yeah, if you have Helen's mom ready to fight, I think that would sound a bit wrong out of context. It's a good thing you all know what I'm talking about. If you have that robot ready for a grudge match, I would definitely grudge you. Maybe you could throw it in a rumble too if you want to. I'm interested to see when we do an ant rumble and a beetle rumble, especially how many eliminated teams would jump in on a rumble and what in the world would happen. Which leads us to our next prediction. How many beetles do we think are going to be in a rumble? Now, the rumble would probably happen before the semifinals. So it would happen towards the end of the day when there's a few robots left in the tournament. So rumbles only have eliminated robots. How many robots should we expect to see in a rumble? And who would survive? How come no space junk? Well, in case you didn't hear, it's retired. Oh, they will all be destroyed. Oh, yeah. That's exactly the answer I was looking for. They're all going to get destroyed. I don't care who you throw in the arena all at once. They're all going to be missing some parts. Some expensive parts at that. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. No more Viper Kit. Rust in pieces. Yeah, wait. I want to see how far Gyro Walker can go in the tournament. If they sadly get knocked out of the tournament early, I would like to see how they would do in a rumble. Maybe they'd be interested in that. Maybe. What I might do, I might get Troublemaker fixed up, which we can see. Let me go full screen for a minute. We can see this is post March McManus, the damages. I did take all the parts out of the robot, as we can see. The only thing in there is a power switch, because I had to do a little bit of repairs, so I got a swap of a drive motor, or I think I already did that. I got to touch it up, but got to finish with the motor and get a battery charged up. What I'll probably do is take this bot and do some sort of rumble. I might throw it in an ant rumble, or if somebody brings a plastic ant, I'll grudge you. Or boss battle with a bunch of fairies. That's always fun. Rest in pieces is a Viper kit, so that did not count. Well, I didn't say rest in pieces. I said rust in pieces. Big difference. Finally one letter, but still. So maybe we'll see Troublemaker make an appearance. And if you're interested to see how Troublemaker does, if I decide to throw it in, check out the Minibot Robotics YouTube channel, which should be linked in the description of this live stream. Should check that. I believe the link should be working. If somebody could double check that and let me know, that would be great. Because it has been dumb the last couple of live streams. I'll just put Troublemaker away for now. So yeah, I'll probably throw in Troublemaker in a rumble, an ant rumble, or a boss battle against a bunch of fairies. Or if somebody brings a plastic ant, like I said, I'll grudge you. If enough bring a plastic ant, we could do a plastic ant rumble. I checked everything. Looks be good in the description. Thank you. Much appreciated. I thought I linked it there, so yep, should be good. So again, to all of the teams attending this competition, if you happen to see this, I wish you the best in this competition, and I cannot wait to see who takes it all the way. This is going to be a very, very fun competition, and there's going to be a lot of chaos, a lot of action-packed fights, carnage, roof shots from particularly the Beatles. It is going to get really loud with the Beatles in there, and I cannot wait for it. The combat at the Gulf Coast. Let me try that again. Combat at Gulf Coast MakerCon 2026 this Saturday in Tampa, Florida. Like I said earlier in the stream, you can expect to see a Little Rocketeer fight recap video early next week to recap how Little Rocketeer performed at this event. And this new recap video coming soon will have some new features added into it. Like I teased, the intro and outro is going to be all brand new. What is... I don't exactly know. Let's see if we can find out, because I'm not even sure how to say that name. I clicked it, right? We're going to see if that ever loads. You should grudge Darren with chlorine or fluorine with Troublemaker. It would be entertaining. I agree. He's not even going to be at this competition. Otherwise, I absolutely would. Gotta click it twice, I think. No, I only have to click it once. It's just... the Builder's Database website has been like this all day long today. Like, you can't see it, but I'm not even... like, when you want to see the robots that are signed up, like I had a minute ago, you would normally click this button here. It says see all robots. But I'm not even going to click that button. I just hit the go forward button at the top of my screen, which you can't see. And then if I want to go back, I just hit the back button. So for some reason that works, but just clicking directly on the Builder's Database website, it's been slow. Let me try it again. I just clicked it. I don't know. We're going to watch and we're going to see if it ever loads. Hopefully it does. I don't think my internet's being stupid today. I haven't had a problem with that. Oh, hey, look at that. Haha, we're going to get some answers finally. Primary weapon, spinner. Secondary weapon, spinner. Wait, is it a double spinner? Or is it just a single spinner and they just put it twice? Strategy, slice. Love it. I am definitely curious to see what they bring. Again, I just hit the back button. If I click the see all robots, how slow is it going to be? Probably just as slow. I just clicked it. Rotifer. I'm gonna be reminding myself that over the next 36 hours. And if I still end up saying it wrong at the event, I know I'll be corrected. There we go. That is being interestingly slow. Oh, look, a lot of robots updated their profile picture to match. I'm kidding. This is lagging. Take your time. I've got all night. There we go. You are interestingly slow. Again, this website's been like this all day, and I don't know how much of it's the actual website or if it's my internet. I might have a Darren's internet curse tonight. No. Just no. I dare you to pronounce. No. Pasta. We're just going to stop at that. I'm calling it pasta. The rest of it, no. Do we have all the pictures pulled up? There we go. It loaded. Nice. So yeah, can't wait to see all of the amazing robots and all of the amazing teams that are signed up. Come on, you're a professional commentator. You should know this. Who said I was a professional commentator? I just recall being a commentator. I never said I was a professional or nothing, but if you think I'm a professional at what I do, you think very highly of me. A lot of names, when I hear them, and I'll even do this when I'm commentating, when I hear somebody come into the arena with an interesting name and I'm not even going to bother with, I go, what's your name? Okay, what's your name? Forget this. Somebody else is commentating. Madman? I'm kidding. Rotifers use food up. Looks like they are retained. Interesting. There's your fun fact from Team Firewolf, Robert there. Now we have a reference to go with the name. I'm going to check, make sure I know how to pronounce everybody's names. Another good thing I want to point out is most of these names, I'd say pretty much all these names, they seem to be pretty easy to pronounce, or at least figure out how to pronounce. So nothing too difficult. As a commentator, I'm happy about that. Notice, as I said, as a commentator, not a professional. Pronounce these. No, no, and no. Done. I'm definitely not going to say that second one. I know how to pronounce that, and I'm not going to do it. That third one, I don't know why you'd spell it like that instead of spelling it in English. That looks like Wrecking Machine. Wrecking Machine reminds me of that that one Wrecking Ball song. No, that is not correct. It is pronounced Wreckin' Machine. Because it is a wrecking machine. It wrecks. No, try again. Wreckin'. Look, we're gonna pull this comment back up. Wreckin' machine. And yes, I totally skipped over that first one. I'm not even gonna try. It's Dutch for calculator. So, wrecking machine is Dutch for calculator. So anytime you build a robot that wrecks other robots, it's a Dutch calculator. Good to know. Yeah, I'm totally just being something else right now. That is interesting. That's a lot of scary looking robots. And of course, if I'm going to be a little bit biased, I want to see my friend here with Slapdash. Of course, we fought them a few times in the past. I want to see how well they do throwing an ant. They're throwing a Viper in a full ant division. That did not go very well for Space Junk. The last few times we did that. Maybe they'll have more success than we did. We'll see. I keep looking here. I don't see Space Junk. I look here, I see a little Rocketeer. It just feels off. Fighting Rocketeer and no Space Junk. That is definitely first. But how about pronouncing? Yeah, I know. I've looked at that name. I've read that name so many times, and I know what robot that is. And Wolfman Crab is an amazing builder. Shout out to you if you're watching this. But don't ask me how to pronounce your robot's name. No. I almost tried there for a second, but no. So this is going to be a very fun competition. And I should also mention it will be live streamed on the Amrock Fab Lab Twitch. I believe also on YouTube and Facebook. Primarily Twitch. Build Fight Fun is helping them with the streaming, but the tech side of things is mostly brought to you by Plug Hits Live, another sponsor for the event. And Build Fight Fun is also bringing the 8-foot by 8-foot fighting arena for this event, as well as 2 small little test boxes to test the robots in when teams need to do that. Here's an easy one. Does that refer to a specific person? I do not know. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the Build Fight Fun arena once again. It's going to have steel floors. The railings, I do believe, are also steel. Again, no magnets. I have been asked about that. I confirm there will be no magnets and obviously no entanglements allowed either. So the way that they're going to do the safety inspections for this competition, this is a good note for anybody who is attending, competing at this event. Beetle weight, weigh-in, and safety inspections are going to be in the big 8x8 battle arena. And then Build Fight Fun is bringing 2 test boxes. One of them, the ant weights, will be doing their safety in, and the other one, the fairies, are going to be in. So each weight class has its own designated box for their weigh-in and safety inspections, and they will be labeled so you know which one to go to. Let's see. That's also to kind of make the weigh-in and safety inspection process go by quicker. So as soon as everybody, I should word it like this: the faster everybody loads in and does their safety, the faster we start the competition. And of course, they also noted, in addition to a table, 1 per team, please, bring extension cords, power strips, safety glasses, lipo bags, etc. The usual stuff we bring to a competition. Power will be provided. I believe I heard there is going to be more power this event, like more outlets and stuff like that. So just bring extension cords and power strips to ensure that you can plug in all of your power tools, chargers, everything that you'll need for the event. And that's a pro tip for anybody who's interested in getting into robotics. Those are just a couple of things you'll have to bring with you. Interesting that they aren't running plastics for this one. They usually don't. MROC did that like one time. They usually don't do that. But like I said, for plastics, the plastics are not going to have their own tournament. But if people bring them this Saturday, I'd be happy to grudge them. So we'll see how many grudges Troublemaker can get in. And Troublemaker is a plastic ant, which is under my solo team, Minibot Robotics. Check out the YouTube channel for that. Link in the description of this live stream. So yeah, I am really looking forward to it. You know, like the fairweights a lot more personally. So do I. I'm glad you mentioned that because I agree. The fairy weights can definitely be fun to watch. People say, "Oh no, they're boring." No, they're not. I can see why people would probably say that in a larger arena, like an 8x8 Beetle arena. But if you put fairies in a smaller, like 3 foot by 3 foot arena that's like 2 feet tall, then that forces them to engage more and becomes more exciting. But they're not boring. They can be difficult to build initially, but they are lower cost. And I say that just because they're smaller and it can be hard for some people. But yeah, fairy weights are a lot of fun. Welcome in, Wolfman Crab Arms. Any new bot releases yet? Not as of yet. So just to kind of recap what we were talking about here on stream for anybody that's coming in just now. We have a competition in Tampa called Combat at Gulf Coast MakerCon. this Saturday. They're fighting fairy weights, ant weights, beetle weights. We can see the number there, how many. We will see Little Rocketeer fighting. This event marks the comeback of our fairy weight Little Rocketeer, which is, I got to be honest, we've not even had the time to prepare this robot for the competition at all. Been pretty busy. We were working on this one. We were working on it in preparation for a March Madness, which was last month, in case somebody else brought a fairy and wanted a grudge, but nobody ever did. So we never got to fight it. Since then, we haven't done anything to it. We're 36 hours away from doing safety inspections for this. So there's no major repairs or anything that have to be done. The major work was done last month. I just got to make sure we got spare parts ready to go. We got batteries charged, and we're going to put some acetate. We're going to put acetate taped onto the plow like we did last year. I'm going to try to apply it a little better because it did not stay on the wedge last time. You won't catch me in fairies. I know a lot of people that say that. I am not about handling tiny electronics. I know. It, like I said, it can be tough on the initial build of a fairy weight. It can be tough for some people. Working in a tiny little space. I mean, hang on. My hand is bigger than that. Yeah, so they are pretty tiny. But they do have some perks. They're not as high maintenance. And what I mean by that is you don't have to do as many repairs compared to an ant weight or a beetle weight, because those are a lot more destructive and more prone to blow stuff up. And the fairy weights are also more cost effective as well. I already had to replace wires on tiny ESCs because motors. Yeah. Oh yeah. They're good for baby hands. I love how fast they are. Yeah, they are really, really fast. I wonder. Little Rocketeer is pretty fast. I wonder if we're going to see a box rush from Little Rocketeer this time around. I'd be interested. I'm going to try. I'm going to try to box rush with Little Rocketeer. For anybody that doesn't know the term box rush, that's each robot starts in a starting position on opposite ends of the arena. And as soon as the commentator says 3, 2, 1, fight, if one robot makes it all the way to their opponent's starting position before they can leave their starting position, that's called a box rush. We've seen Space Young do that a couple of times. I say I have not mastered the skill for that, but I'm starting to get there. But yeah, the fairies are very fast. But we have a very, very solid lineup. I feel a lot of the ant weights and beetle weights, they're going to get a lot of box rushes. But what I find entertaining is when big bots, like beetles, they box rush their opponent and immediately send them into the roof. Now that is fun to watch. It's probably not fun to watch that happen to your own robot, but it's fun for me to watch because I don't have Beatles. You know, Drumbotics sells the CAD files for the Drumbotics sketch, which often involves the screws for the weapon. Any chance about that? I thought you could only get their CAD files if you join their Patreon. That's at least what I heard. I think it's a pretty cool ferry. I think it's pretty solid. I don't know if I'd ever run it, but I think it's pretty cool. I know that the Combat Robotics team behind Destroyer and Chokehold, Mega Pushy X, they used to run the Drumbotics kit, the ferry kit. And Team Robotics brought a Drumbotics ferry last year. Yeah, it was called Killer Bee. They brought it to the Orlando Maker Fair back in 2024. We also brought Little Rocketeer with us in case we did a grudge with it. And when they said they had their ferry at the Maker Fair, we agreed to do a grudge match. I went to go turn on the Rocketeer, and for some reason, it would not turn on. So we did not get to do our grudge, unfortunately. But they were kind enough to let me drive their robot around, which was fun. I just kind of drove it around the arena and destroyed a part of Space Junk that already got destroyed earlier in that competition. They look solid except for the power switch. I had seen someone say that it had problems with safety due to it. Oh, what power switch are they using? Are they not using like the FingerTech one? See, only power switches I know of for ferries are FingerTech switches, or like what we use here. There we go. Like this switch. It's off right now, but if I push it that way, it'll turn on. It's the only other switch I know of for ferries. Using that or the FingerTech switch. But that is interesting. If somebody had safety concerns using whatever power switch it came with. Oh, it's like the one on the Rocketeer. Oh, shoot. I wonder if they didn't solder their wires on there right, or if they just didn't wire something correctly. Because I don't know if that would be the switch itself. Interesting. So, yeah, I've never had a problem with no Rocketeer switch, so that's interesting. I also like that photo that they have right here. These are two beetle weights. That's a photo from Combat at MakerCon 2 years ago. Really cool photo. I like seeing all the sparks. That's really awesome. Could have also been ESC or the receiver, though. Don't remember it clearly. Yeah, probably. Kind of curious to know. Broke someone's FingerTech plug power switch last weekend. Oh, geez. That is crazy. Oh, the plug. Oh, are you talking about... I should have one of those. You referring to this one? Is Man going to be commentating this event? He is not attending this competition. He is taking a break from robotics for a little while. Yeah, okay, so it is a plug. I had to bore out the hole so the plug would fit again. Oh, wow. Oh, man, yeah. Madman said it's probably going to be a minute before we see him again. at a competition. That's why I was happy to see him in Ocala. He wasn't fighting, so he volunteered to help out with judging and being a backup announcer. So, is it college finals? Where are college guys? I try to convince some college guys to get on here. They already no show. I know the college students are pretty busy right now. A lot of stuff going on with them. I just done a replica of Era 404 and Viper Kings. Ooh. Nice. That is really cool. Arrow 404, did you replicate it with forks or the wedge configuration? I'd imagine the forks. Okay. That sounds really cool. Arrow 404 is only forked right now. Nice. That's usually his primary configuration is using the forks, so that was a good choice. But yeah, I would love to see that and how it does. So yeah, we're gonna see, go back. Like I just scrolled up. But yeah, overall, fun event. I got to figure out the teams should be getting an email about this relatively soon. But there's construction going on nearby the venue. So one of the roads is closed off. So you have to take a different route to get in. So if any teams attending this event are watching this, do note that and be on the lookout for an email on that from the event host relatively soon with directions on how to get in. I don't think I saw this event on RCE. Yeah, it's Builder's Database. We're not using RCE for this one. The new weight fix update messed up a lot of stuff. Wow. Good to know. I think I saw a Florida one next Saturday. You are correct. Next Saturday and Sunday, the Miami Maker Faire, Robot Renegades at Maker Faire Miami. A large event. I wish the teams that are going the best. I'm sure they're going to have a lot of fun. I always forget Builder's Database is a thing. I haven't used Builder's Database in a hot minute. I almost forgot it existed. I'm not going to lie. I really like the Builder's Database, but it has been a minute. It has been, let's say, about a year since we've used it. So there was a time I almost forgot about it too. But yeah. So really cool stuff going on this weekend with the event. And Gulf Coast MakerCon is not just for combat robotics. It is for anybody and everybody that makes. You just make stuff. Whatever it is you make, the events like this, these are your place to show off what you make. So there's going to be a lot of exhibitors and vendors showing off the things that they make. And they're going to be all outside of the restaurant, which is going to be fun. The combat will be indoors, of course. So I can't wait to see other makers, of course, other robot builders, along with other types of makers that are going to be at this event. Builder's database has been acting really slow today. Yes, it has. Yes, it really has. I can try pushing a button again. Watch this. Database. We're going to go here and see all robots. I just clicked it. And now we wait. We're going to start our next live stream by the time this thing loads. Do. I agree. Jeopardy theme song starts playing. I need to add that to my soundboard. Well, actually, we might get copyrighted for that. Never mind. Don't want a copyright strike. There it goes. I'm surprised that actually loaded up on the same day. It squished the profile pictures. There we go. Come on. It is struggling. Look how slow it's moving. Look at that. It squished it. Condense, make it push EX. There it goes. Sort of. I like events that are part of larger events like Murph, 3D Print Convention, or Comedy. Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree. Like, Gulf Coast MakerCon is a maker festival here in the Tampa Bay area of Florida. It's always a lot of fun to see who goes. You've got that old Darren internet. No, it's not Darren internet. It's not the internet, because watch. You're not going to be able to see this, but I'm going to click the back button. 3, 2, 1. Boom, it just went right back. If I hit my forward button, I'm just going to keep going back and forth. Look at that. It tells me it's not the internet, because that would also be slow if it was my internet. It's just all the buttons on database. Builder's database is being slow today. It actually crashed earlier today. That might have just been me, but I tried to go on Builder's database earlier today and get it pulled up, and it crashed. Anybody else notice that? If you were on Builder's database earlier today on that website, it didn't last long, thankfully. I was hoping it'd be back up in time for this stream, but yeah. There's also going to be raffle items, so you can get some raffle tickets and perhaps win a prize. It's really cool stuff that they do every year for their raffles. They did raffles last year, and they had some awesome prizes. That's something they usually do every year. So I look forward to seeing what they're offering this year for their raffles. It's going to be fun to see what they have. My YouTube buffered right when you said internet. Look, I promise you, Roughhouse, it is not my internet. If my hand didn't shake so much, that would have worked perfectly. I was doing so good, and then my hand started shaking. I'm not going to do my hand next time. Damn, God, she's straight right now. Jeez. Oh, boy. But yeah, I look forward to the competition. There's plenty of space, given that the robotics has its own room now. We have an entire room for the competition, so that means plenty of room for the arenas and pit tables. Again, teams, bring your own pit tables. We have plenty of space for you to set them up. The curse still lives on. It must. It must. Oh. But yeah, it's going to be, from what I understand, perhaps a much larger space than what we had last year. I'm very excited to see it. I was also informed that there's monitors outside the building, so anybody outside the building for the event can watch the live stream, from what I understand. So that's pretty awesome. It's also helpful because if any of the teams happen to step outside close to one of those monitors that has the stream pulled up, they hear their name being called, they go, "Oh shoot, I gotta go." That'd be. I think that would be funny if one of the teams happened to be outside and hear their name get called on one of the monitors with the stream on it. And they just start running in the building. I love when events have projectors and monitors that people can watch. I agree. Another thing that is helpful, I don't think we're going to see it this one. I think it's really helpful when there's a monitor inside the arena by the pit tables to show the brackets and, if available, a fight schedule to show like who's doing what and when. Cage side gets too crowded often. Yeah, it can for sure. Having a monitor on the top of an arena, like the arena we're going to see this Saturday, is like 7 feet tall. And seeing a monitor on an arena like that is helpful until there's a huge crowd that's crowding around the arena. But that's why if, like, you have a monitor away from the arena as well, that can also be very helpful to have both. But yeah. So we are gonna keep this live stream pretty short, so we're not gonna be on here too much longer. Like I said, unfortunately, all of the teams that are set to compete this Saturday are busy in preparation, gearing up for an amazing competition taking place this Saturday. It's going to be a lot of fun. I cannot wait to see everybody that shows up and that have worked hard for this event, and to hear their excuses as to why they didn't join tonight. Maybe I'll harass a few people. But perhaps we'll see a few teams in the recap stream. Just as a brain refresher, we do these live streams every other Thursday night, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We normally have other builders joining. Unfortunately, nobody was available to join, but the show must go on anyway. Perhaps some Rumble 2 gameplay. Well, word on the street is there may or may not be a stream for that on a channel you may or may not be subscribed to. That may or may not happen in the near future. But yeah. So, unfortunately, nobody was able to join tonight. But that is good news. It lets me know the teams are gearing up. They are hard at work, preparing for the competition. And it is going to be a lot of fun. Again, amazing lineup. I can't wait to see everybody there. Sorry if I'm late. Hey, you are not late. If you wanted to come tune in at 8:37 p.m. Eastern Time, you are not late. You are right on time. Better late than never. Thank you for joining. Um, we are wrapping up soon. Um, we want to keep this one short tonight. Um, perhaps we'll make up for this on the next live stream. Maybe have a longer stream. An RR2 stream remake Beetle. Oh lord. You know, a Beetleweight space junk would be cheaper to make in a video game compared to real life. Fair point. I like the way you think. Oh, but yeah, we'll probably do another stream for that video game soon. After this event, we're not going to be fighting again for a couple of months. So the live streams are going to be more focused on other things outside of events. I know most of the live streams here on the channel have been focused on live streams. We originally started this live stream series with one-on-one interviews, interviewing people from the robotics community. We may go back to that fairly soon. We also may do some robot video game streams as well. Chlorine, Viper King, and Air 4 defenders. I would love to see your destroyer make. That would be pretty cool. Pretty cool indeed. I know you mentioned how you would love to see a rumble between Space Junk, Error, Viper King, and Fluorine. That would be a lot of fun. If that were to happen, if Space Junk comes back and we actually do that, who do you think would win? One last prediction for the night. If Space Junk, Air 404, Viper King, and Fluorine fought in a 4-bot rumble, who would win? And if you say anybody besides Space Junk, you get banned. No, I'm kidding. I won't do that. And there you go. That's the right answer. That's what I was looking for. I wish you were close enough. That would be a lot of fun. We got to see the new Space Junk first. Well, in the meantime, we'll just stick with the Space Junk you know. The only way, I'm going to put this out there, the only way I would consider bringing back a Viper kit is if we did this rumble. Space Junk versus Air 404 versus Viper King versus Fluorine. A 4-bot rumble with those 4 robots. Be the only reason why I would say we'd consider bringing back the Viper kit. And our friend Lawson commentates. Well, Fluorine and RSL super. He has done pretty well with that robot, I must say. He is going to the national championship finals in Utah. When is it? June? Space Junk wasn't invited, so I don't remember the dates. I'm pretty sure it's June. I think he'd lose a lot more motors. I mean, I don't know. Maybe unless he does belted weapon, which I know he doesn't seem to be a big fan of belts. And honestly, neither am I. I don't like belts. That's why nothing I've ever made uses belts. I don't know. Maybe that would save him some motors. At least for his weapon, anyway. Let's see. I want to see some Florida bots get their butts handed to them by Mercy. Oh boy. Don't count out the Florida bots just yet. Same that my hub motor is protected. Yeah. If you're going to have direct drive weapon setup, definitely have as much protection as you can. Learn it the hard way. Yeah. Yeah, this is so wide open. Yeah. It's the only downfall with design like fluorine and many others that I could name. Horizontals with the exposed weapon motor like that. But if you can find a way to put a guard on it or something, that would help a lot. I want to see Cheesy Disaster in the MRCA season finals. Oh boy. Cheesy at this rate, they'd go all the way no matter where you throw them in. Speaking of, there's no Cheesy Robot at this competition, but there is Cheesy Doom at the Miami event we mentioned that is happening next weekend. So I'm pretty sure he's going to go all the way with that. But yeah, overall, I look forward to this. Does Cheesy have any Metal Fork configs? No, I have not seen one. His full combat config is a TPU flipper. Other than that, I think it's pretty much the same. Hopefully with repeat motors. Pretty sure he uses repeat motors. Because he dominates. If not, then it would probably be dead. First fight. No, I doubt that. Maybe I'm not educated properly about MRCA robots, but I doubt that. But yes, I look forward to the competition and seeing everybody there. And to all the teams watching this that are competing at this event, I wish you all the best. Have fun, no matter what happens. Have fun. It's going to be a great turnout. I can already expect to see a nice large crowd coming out to see Robot Carnage at its finest in the Tampa Bay area. This Saturday, it's going to be all day nonstop carnage, and I absolutely love it. I cannot wait. And one last mention, this is going to be the return of Low Rocketeer, who has not fought in almost a year. So you can find the event being live streamed on Airmark Fab Labs Twitch, and I believe their YouTube as well. So be sure to tune into the live stream and root on Low Rocketeer. And we hope to see Low Rocketeer get its first ever tournament fight win. I'm pretty excited to see that, see if we can pull it off. A lot of amazing robots at this competition. They will not make it easy. Rest in pieces? No, it's rust in pieces. Rust. We believe in the little rocket. Yes, we believe in Little Rocket. I agree. But yes, that is going to do it for tonight's live stream. Thank you all for tuning in and being a part of the conversation here live on the channel. It's been amazing having you all here. Thank you all for the support. To everybody watching, If you have not already, please like and subscribe. Like the live stream, subscribe to the channel. Remember, doing those kind of things for us, it's free. Helps us out. And yes, Little Rocketeer sweep. That is correct. That would definitely take me by surprise, but I don't know. We'll see if we can pull it off. We will see what happens. Little Rocketeer fight recap video coming soon, as in next week. And Little Rocketeer to the moon. No. Little Rocketeer's opponents are going to go to the moon. Is Little Rocketeer sending them to the moon? See you Saturday. Yes, see you Saturday, Robert. I look forward to seeing you there. To the roof. Yes, to the roof. To infinity and beyond. Whatever beyond infinity means. It is going to be a lot of fun, no matter what happens. And to Robert and all the other teams watching this that will be at the event Saturday, see you there. I wish you the best. Can't wait to spend the day fighting robots with you and all the rest of my friends that are going to this event. So, thank you all for tuning in. And we will be back in 2 weeks for the recap live stream of this event. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'll see who all I can get on next time to talk about their fights. Maybe a couple of college students if they're not too busy like they were tonight. Maybe I can talk a team into joining that ended up on the podium. Special mention Texas Roadhouse. No. Darren's not here, so no. Not this time, sorry. That reminds me, we have sponsors. Thank you to our sponsors, Polymaker, SendCut Send, 48 Designs. I got to give you all a shout out before we head out. We could not do what we do without you amazing sponsors. So thank you all. And to all of you watching the stream, thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting the channel and Little Rocketeer. Well, I guess you currently can't see that, but that's okay. Root on Little Rocketeer this weekend. We will be back in a couple of weeks for the recap stream. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we hope to see you there. Till next time, I look forward to seeing you in the next live stream. Take care, everybody. Have a good night. Good luck at the event. Thank you very much, Wolfman Crab Arms. You have a good night as well. So, thank you all for joining. Stay safe out there. Thank you for supporting the channel. Good night and goodbye.